What's happening, man?
All right, all right, all right. I'm feeling good. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right?
Oh, I
But,
gotta tell you, man, they gave the Heart a little bit of a workout in that game, especially when it was
yeah,
3-1.
yeah, man. Last thing we need, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of positives, but I mean, like even before in the last podcast, we said this is not going to be an easy one. It's not going to be a walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination, right? And these guys came out to play, right?
Yeah, it was. I thought we got off to a great start, and then that. Look, that challenge. You and I debated about that.
Oh,
I don't disagree with you. I think that's 100% goaltender interference. Um, he got tripped, but he didn't get tripped into the goalie. He went into the goalie. We've seen our like Hyman Perry get called for less. Goals have
way
been taken off
less.
the board,
Yeah, way less.
but I don't think you challenge that. Once
Yeah,
they make the call, I don't think you challenge that.
you don't challenge that. Why, Aline? Because the NHL is a flaky league, especially the
Exactly.
Department of Reviews and whatever the crap. You know that they're full of crap, and I'm gonna say it like a
Exactly.
fan because it's two different rules for regular season and the playoffs, and
Exactly.
you leave it up to the coaches and the players to figure out what is going to be called, what is not going to be called. That being an absolute 100% goalie interference, not called, can change the series. It could. And why? Because you didn't call it the way it was supposed to be called, right?
Well,
Bullshit.
see, this is the thing. Like the narratives and stuff. I don't know if they get like reports and stuff because in the intermission, we've got Elliot Friedman on talking about how the NHL has decided not to take goals off the board.
What is
But
that?
we've seen
I
goals.
heard him, and I know he's right, but it's absolutely stupid. I don't agree with
It's
it. The league has
it's a
decided
bunch of
not to call goals back in the playoffs. They want to take goals off. What kind of
it's
shit
a
is
bunch of
that?
it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's actually accurate. I don't think that they just said okay, like they goaltender interference calls. Everybody's been 0 for 4, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at like the call that went for us with Kane, he's getting pushed into the goalie, right?
Yeah.
Um, there was,
And that was called.
What's that?
And that was called the goalie interference.
Oh no, not the one against Vegas, the one against
Oh,
LA,
you're
the
talking
one
about the
that
Vegas one.
counted,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Where
Yeah,
they said it
that's
was a
right.
kicking motion. Then LA
Yeah, yeah.
charge got that was he's getting pushed in blatantly.
Yeah, cross check.
Right here, the guy tripped over Kulak's foot and goes backwards into the goalie, which is I don't know.
Clear as day.
Anyways, end
Clear
of the
as
day,
day.
like I said, me saying we should not have challenged. It was a horrible challenge. Me saying that doesn't mean I don't think that was goaltender interference. I just want to make
Yeah.
that really clear.
Yeah.
But that could have changed the course of that game because we were rolling, right? And that changed the momentum. I feel like for the 17 minutes of that period, we were the better team.
Yeah.
We had a 3-minute gaff and we're down 2-1.
Yeah, and
Right?
that's what it's going to be against these guys, right? It's going to be you make mistakes, they will capitalize. They did it against Carolina. They did it against Toronto.
Yep.
They need a
They've done
small
it
window
all.
to capitalize on their chances, right?
Yep. Well, I mean, capitalize on their chances. Like they committed a foul, didn't get called, got a goal, and then went on the power play. Like,
Yeah.
come on, right?
And they come out. Sportsnet comes out and says that McCauley, one of the greatest referees of all time, before the game starts. Yeah, greatest referees of all time called the game the way it is, and I like that they put the whistles away. In the second period is getting kind of ridiculous, and I do have a bone to pick with these freaking linesmen
Oh my
stopping and
God.
delaying the game to the point where it's like I pull my hair if I had any. Like, what are you guys doing?
Did you see Nuge? I was so surprised. He went off on him. That guy never gets mad at anybody. And he
You
went off
probably
on him.
didn't see this. I saw Bobrovsky go off on him. Bobrovsky is like in his ready position. It's in their zone. So Bobrovsky's like down, like he's crouched down and he's ready for the face-off to go off on his left. And the guy keeps laying, and he just stands up and he starts yelling. You can see his stick like, put the freaking fuck down. And even after he puts it down, he's still just standing there like, I'm tired of this crap,
No
It's getting ridiculous.
one's there to see you guys. It was brutal.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, why are you faking everybody out every chance you get? It's so stupid.
It takes away from the game. It takes away from the excitement. You're kind of like ready to go, and this guy's delaying it for like not like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. At times, it's like 30 seconds of waiting for this douchebag to drop the puck, man. Just
and then they wave somebody out because a winger comes in. But the wingers are answering to everybody's in position, ready to go. It's not easy to stand like that in that athletic stance for that long, right? It's crazy.
How hard is it? Seriously. Anyway,
I don't know, man. But I exchanged some messages with you. The game was a good game overall. But that stuff that was going on in that second period, completely putting your whistles away like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly think that takes away from the beautiful game that we have, right?
I agree.
There's all of this after whistle garbage. You've got I'm jumping around all over the place here, going from the second period to the winning goal. Did you see that? I sent you that clip. Did you get a chance to take a look at it?
Yeah. The slew foot? Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yep.
Like, are you kidding me?
100% a slew foot. He
It's
looks at
100%
him,
slew foot,
he
right?
sees where he is, he actually changes direction and goes right toward him, and then you could see his foot sticking out and shouldering him. So that's a slew foot. Like he did that, no call, which goes both ways. But I agree with you. The after the whistle crap, it also sends a message like with the Bennett goal that it's okay for guys to go and crash into goalies now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See,
go ahead and do
there's
it. Injure a goalie. We already had an injury to Pickard. Now we're gonna get Skinner out again or something. Because the more the Florida Panthers lose, the more aggressive they're gonna get. Right?
Exactly. There's a difference between playing hard and hitting somebody hard legally within the guidelines.
Yeah.
But there was Oiler forwards are posting up at the blue line like they do often. Their backs turned to the defenseman every time you see they get an opportunity. Ref's not looking, something cross check to the back of the like their lower back.
That's right.
Come on, right?
Yeah.
Then like you see Marchand at the end of one of the whistles, and he's punching away at Nurse. If Nurse does anything, that's the issue with this stuff, right?
How many punches did you get in there like a rabbit? Like I was saying, he got like at least 5 or 6 solid punches in his gut, and the ref is just standing there looking at him like he did that to the Sedins back in the day. Remember? Yeah. Like how many punches did he get in the face of Sedin before they actually called it? It was like good 5 or 6 punches. It's stupid.
And this is the crap that pisses me off because during the intermission and whatnot, they're all laughing about it. And they're like, "Oh, this is the gamesmanship, and this is just what it takes to win." Like, come on, this crap.
I don't agree. The thing is, the Oilers are holding back so much. You know that Kane can do a lot more. I mean, he was hitting, but he's hitting legally. He could do a lot of illegal stuff, but he won't get away with it.
The problem is because if Kane does something, he's going to be put in the box.
Exactly.
So why is Chuck and Bennett and
Marchand?
Why aren't they getting called? Right.
Exactly.
It has to be call it even across the board. But that going back to that game-winning goal, right? Bouchard, it was karma, absolutely, right? What Marchand did there, but again, you can bump the guy, you can skate hard, try to get by him if you think he's setting a pick, but don't do something dangerous like that could end his career potentially, right? And I mean, people laugh and they're like, "Come on, you're being over dramatic," but that's an Achilles tendon that can just snap. And players, I know Bouchard's young, but you know, you lose explosiveness, and some players can't come back from that.
Well, that's what Mikey Anderson did to Leon, and how long did it take him? Right? That's a dangerous play, man. But I'm with you. But you know, when the league does crap like this, it just adds to what everybody in the media laughs at, that there is some kind of conspiracy that the league wants the American teams to win and against the Canadian teams. Oh, when this crap goes on, it adds to that. You know what I mean?
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's. Anyway, the Oil came out with the win, in spite of the refereeing, in spite of the BS that went on there, and I think that it's gonna be a little bit different this time around. This next game, I'm hoping that there were some notes taken and that they're gonna go out there and they're gonna play hard within the rules, but hopefully they will call it even. And if the Oilers take a penalty, call it. It's a penalty, right?
The funny thing about this is I don't know if you listened after like the post game show, but Rob Brown, Bob Stauffer, both of them are like, we got handed 2 penalties, and they're like, Paul Maurice is going to have an issue because the power plays are 4-2. What did we get? And then those are our commentators, and they're saying like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm really sick and tired. Don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm really sick and tired of the rules completely changing once we hit the finals, even, right? Like that stuff was getting called in the previous rounds to a certain degree, at least in our series, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're not calling it. Like against Vegas, they took one guy right away. They take one guy. One guy does something, they just take one guy, and then the teams automatically just stop doing that, right? But what in the finals, when one team is arguably getting outplayed, like I don't know, man.
I hear you. That adds to the frustration. I'm really happy that the Oil came out with a win.
I'm
Beautiful
so glad
play.
they won.
Yeah, it was a great comeback. You know, some doubt now seated in the Florida mind because they were like 31-0 going in. You know, having the lead for the last 2 periods and going into the third with the lead, they were 31-0, and now you know the Oil come back from 3-1. They're 31-1, and this is not going to be just like every other team. You're going to have to fight and earn it, and I'm really happy to see that they're at least we're up 1-0. This game tonight is going to be a huge game. Huge game.
Yeah, it's a massive game.
Yeah,
I don't know how much attention you spent on the post game interviews. One thing that stood out with McDavid, they asked him about the streak and breaking that streak and what happened when you went down 3-1. And what really, like, I don't know, this was just huge for me when he's just like, yeah, we got to stick with it. Went down. You don't have to open it up. It just comes from experience. You just got to play the way you've been playing. We got to hold them to 3 and get another one, right? And he's just like, Arvidsson's goal was massive, right? Because they got us right back in there. So it's 3-2, still a 1-goal game. And the thing that just stood out was he's like, you don't have to open it up. You don't have to go and get 2 goals in a row. You've got so much time remaining in the game. Just continue to go, and you continue to go, right? That maturity, right? We keep talking about that maturity.
It's huge. It's huge. And we've seen this over the last couple of years. I mean, the team doesn't fold. They don't fold like a cheap tent when they're down by 2 or 3 goals. They actually keep fighting. And that's amazing, because I mean, it's not just the playoffs they've done it. They've done it throughout the regular season as well, when they were coming back. The third period, their bread and butter. So it's great to see. I'm glad they've learned, but I hope moving forward that they're not having to come back from a 3-1 deficit. This is not the team you want to do it against, right?
No, you don't want to keep going to the well, absolutely. But honestly, that I don't know what the hell happened on that 3-1 goal. I don't even. Do you remember the course of action? It just like, how is Florida getting an odd man rush and basically a breakaway coming in from the blue line there, right?
I know. Yeah.
Someone pinched, someone blew the zone. I don't know what happened, right?
Yeah, but they tend to do that. I think we said this in the last podcast as well. They tend to take some of these chances, and that creates chances for us too, right?
For sure. But I think though, I think Knobloch even said this. He's like, we could be way better. I can't recall, but I seem to, like, when we were going through, I think it was a bad change. And I mean, in the second period, there's long changes, right? So the defensemen tend to get stuck out there a little bit longer than normal. Anyways, we ended up winning with the long change as well, because OT won with the long change as well. But that first 5 minutes of overtime, first 4 minutes of overtime, Skinner was solid, because Florida was taking it to us until we settled in, and then we kind of tilted the ice after that, right? Yeah.
No, I think overall, I would say, including the overtime, we had 3 of the 4 periods, and Florida was fighting back. They had 30 somewhat shots, 33, 34 shots. We had 43 shots, 44 shots. I felt like we started taking over the game, especially towards after the first few minutes of overtime. We took over, and I don't think we looked back.
I think Florida had 2 shots in the third, right?
That's
shots
right.
for 17-8 in the second.
Crazy.
As soon as they went to Connor Leon, we kind of evened out. But Skinner was massive in that second period as well. Even after the third goal, he made some big saves.
He did.
Shut it down. And in the third period, he made a couple of pretty, like, he didn't have to be like fantastic. He just had to be solid, and he was pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can blame him on any of those goals, really. I mean,
no.
First one's goaltender interference. Second one, if there's one thing I will say, if we want to pick apart all the plays and the goals and whatnot on that PK, I think they talked about it in the intermission as well, right? The forwards, and I think it was a forward and one of the defensemen, they just gave too much space, right? And then basically it's an easy cross pass. One of the forwards there has to stay high and aggressive, and the defenseman as well, to take away that cross ice pass. There was just way too much room, and then you got, this guy's wide open. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
But again, that power play, I was complaining about the first few. There was absolutely no movement. Leon's just standing there, and McDavid's the only guy moving, right? Maybe Bouchard a tiny bit, stationary. But it's interesting how it was sort of, it wasn't really a broken play, but we started to finally get movement, right? Like,
that's right.
And we got that one opportunity, and boom, right?
That was great. I do want to talk about Wallman's game. I think he was a warrior.
Oh, what a beast! Yeah,
took a lot of freaking blocks. Like, he was in pain. But my favorite part of the game, and my favorite play, was the laugh in Nosek's face.
When he started laughing at the guy.
That was hilarious. I wonder what Nosek was saying, like, throughout the game, for him to come out and do that to him, right? I bet like he was taunting him, and then he messes up, and Wallman let him hear it, and I love that. That was my favorite part. Is you got to let these guys hear it, right?
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Bullying the bullies, buddy. Bullying the bullies.
Yeah. I also, they're all before the first game, we kept hearing about the physicality of Florida. And you look at guys like Kane and Frederick, they're talking about it with them both posing even. They're all like looking at each other, kind of smirking in the when they're interviewing, and they're like, I think we'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that we're not backing down. I don't really think we backed down last year either. I just feel like last year we didn't have the gas, right?
No, we didn't have the gas. They talked about that. McDavid was injured, obviously. This was all disclosed after the series, but McDavid was playing with an injury. Obviously,
Draisaitl.
He was on one foot again.
Kane should have been in a wheelchair pretty much, right?
He should have been in a wheelchair. So
pretty bad.
And you see the difference now. Ekblad last year single-handedly was bullying the entire
Yeah.
team. He was hitting
Yeah.
everybody and anybody. And I love the first chance that Kane had, level
Smoke
him.
them.
Yeah, to send a message like, hey, buddy, you're not going to do what you did last year because I'm right here. And I'm telling you, it affected his game. I didn't see him as active as he was last year. And stuff like that makes a difference, right?
There was another play where he was trying to get in with Leon after one of the whistles, and he was kind of bullying him, and somebody just stepped in and like
That was
gave
Kane.
it to him.
That was
Was
Kane,
it
yeah.
Kane that came in and
That was
stepped in?
Kane. He
Yeah.
pushed him right out of the way, like, get the hell out of here. That wasn't happening last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one part I think the media mentioned, I can't remember who it was, when he did that, he essentially prevented Leon from taking a penalty because we know
Pretty
he's got a
much.
short fuse, right?
Yeah.
And he would have done something and it would have been offsetting minors or whatever, but he stepped in and cleared him out so that Leon doesn't take that penalty. It was like probably seconds away from punching the guy in the head, right? So, and I love that about Leon, right?
Or spearing him in the nuts.
Yeah, hey, water sliding. Back in the day, you remember how he used to do that? It was his thing, man. He would put it between their legs and just pull himself. It was awesome. I love Leon, man. He's awesome.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was overall happy with the win. Hopefully we come out, we're way better today. We need to be better. They're going to be better.
Great. Skinner's going to have to step up, man. He's going to be I think he's going to be absolutely critical because Florida doesn't want to go back down 2-0. They want to be out of here 1-1, take home ice advantage from the Oilers. So this is only game 2, but it's a critical game.
Absolutely. I think Florida's probably gonna come out. I have a gut feeling we're gonna have to kill off a couple of penalties early. Just a gut feeling, you know.
The ice has to be tilted their way some way, right?
Yeah. Well, Skinner's gonna have to be solid. I think we're gonna have to defend much better. We did a pretty decent job, but it was pretty sloppy there in the second period.
Yeah.
We need to clean some of that stuff up. I was worried though a little bit because in the third especially, and parts of the second, like not the full third, but the first part of the third and whatnot, and parts of the second, the only line that I really thought was going was Colson, Arvidsson, and Janmark, right? They were just like every other time we were kind of pinned in our zone trying to get it out until those guys came out. And I mean, Colson was, my God, unbelievable.
What a pickup, man. I'm never going to stop talking about it. You know, I have some Canucks buddies. I'm offering them an Oilers jersey with Colson on it. you know, and they laugh about it, but they know they messed up.
we were talking about that when it happened, and a couple of Canuck buddies of mine were like, oh my God, what the hell are we doing? You know, they're like, you guys are going to love this guy, right? The fans know, right?
He's awesome. He's been amazing. I think he's kind of filled the void of Hyman missing, where he's going in the corners and he's hitting every chance he gets. And I love that.
I think they're all taking it. Like even Arvidsson's out there. He doesn't. I mean, he's small, but he plays pretty big.
That's right.
And I mean, did you see how close some of these guys were to attain legendary status, like Kapanen on that breakaway? Right?
Oh man, what was that? He hit the post.
Hit the post. Frederick almost scored on that one timer, and Bouchard. Strudwick was going crazy. He's like, I didn't know that guy could skate. He's like, I've never seen him skate that fast.
He's making me change my opinion about him, man. Maybe he does deserve the 10 mil.
It was so funny listening to Strudwick though, right? Because he's like, you know, when you're watching like McDavid or even like Janmark or someone, you can see that they're like pumping their legs. They're almost like running on the ice, and you can see all the movement and all this ice going everywhere with Bouchard. He just like takes 2 strides, glides, but on that play, he saw it and he just took off, and the guy I think he got him totally off guard. And,
I'm sure for once, Paul. I think Paul Coffey was smiling for once. You know, and I never see the guy smile, but it reminded him of his heydays. But that was a Paul Coffey move if there was one, right? He just motored past the guy. I was like, wow. I wish he had finished it off.
Speaking of Paul Coffey, did you see? I saw a few times after Evan made a play. Like there was one where he turned it over, and I can't remember. Someone he had to make. I think McDavid came back and saved his ass or something, right? Goes to the bench and Coffey's talking to him, and he's just like, calm down, right? What I liked about that sequence as well is Ekholm he got the puck, Ekholm gave it right back to him, and then he made another pass, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Coffey's been huge, especially on the D side. All these guys have confidence. They're like, you're gonna make a mistake, but go out and make a play, right?
Yeah.
But Wallman, man, we were talking about earlier. Just unbelievable. Cannot say enough about him. But also his partner, Klingberg. Jesus, last game,
freaking amazing.
So many plays where he just holds it, hesitates, watches a Panther go by him, or he'll like duck underneath. Like the odd time he does hold on to it for too long and pops it up, but he's always back with his stick, pulls it back, turns the other way. Very rarely does he give it up and make a bad play. Right?
Yeah.
In
Man,
the
I'm
second period,
pleasantly surprised with him. I thought when he even first came in, I knew him from the Dallas days that he was one of their best defenders, if not
man,
the
that guy
best
used
at
to
one
kill
point.
us. Yeah,
And still, like I thought that game was gone, and the knock on him was that he's offensive minded, but he's a
doesn't have any
liability on the
defense. Yeah,
defensive zone.
yeah,
But he's not that at all with us right now.
not at
He's like
all.
playing amazing, man. He's top four all day long.
Doesn't it? He's definitely gonna get a contract somewhere. Probably 4 or 5 million, and I'm really happy for him, right? But you know, it's kind of like the knock on Barry as well was his defense was terrible and stuff too. But when he was that Winnipeg series, he was probably one of our best players.
That's
Remember?
right.
When
That's right.
we
Yeah.
back in 2021. So a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of these guys, I feel like they have this, like maybe again, these analysts, they're supposed to be experts, but I think they maybe watch one game or a highlight clip and then they just talk about it and then it just becomes a narrative about a guy, right? Like his Klingberg defensively, I'm not gonna say he's like a defensive stalwart, right? But defensively, I don't he's pretty solid, right?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good, and I think you know what it is. One of the pundits was talking about this. It's not so much that going just not with Klingberg, like Kapanen and guys from the East Coast who watched Kapanen with the Maple Leafs play, and even in
Everyone's
St.
in,
Louis.
yeah.
Yeah, they were saying that they've never seen him do stuff like that. They haven't seen this kind of confidence in him. What they knew of him was that he tended to kind of give up the puck quite a bit. Like he tried
Yeah.
plays, but he was giving away. The the thing that they're universally talking about, the reason why these guys are excelling is that there's a complete team buy-in. And whether
Yeah,
that's the
everyone's
coaching
buying.
staff or that's Connor and Leon, they've got everybody buy into their roles, and
Well,
this is your job, right?
when you see McDavid coming back, stick lifting Reinhardt, taking it, and then there's a couple plays McDavid's got the puck. He's kind of at the end of his shift. He's looking around. He's like, should I go? And then the old McDavid would have gone, ended up being a 2-minute shift. He just dumps it and then changes, right?
Yeah.
Leon too. Leon, I wanted to kill him because he kept trying to go through guys, and I'm like screaming, dump it, and he started dumping it in too, right? So when you see those guys buying in, and those guys are like, yeah, we're not going to get 50 points in the playoffs this year, but that's okay. Even though McDavid's still they're almost at 30, which is still pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone buys in, and then I don't know if you watch some of the behind the scenes stuff, but they share like they're doing like these hoedowns and stuff after the win and stuff, and like there's all this camaraderie, right? So the room is
That's
really
right.
tight.
That's right. No, it's good, man. I mean, that's what you need. I mean, it's great that the team's got that and they can bottle it. But the one thing that's kind of echoing now, and I've heard this a few times, especially from media from other teams, is saying that the team that you want to get past in the East is going to be Tampa and Florida. Those are the teams that you're going to have to beat to get to the finals if you're going to do it. And the team in the West, it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers. And that's fantastic. You know who I heard saying that? I heard the Calgary Flames guys.
Oh god, yeah.
Red Warner and those guys talking about it. And now, as much as every Oiler win kind of like irks them and they hate it, they're like, well, this is the team you got to beat now. This is the team you got to get past, because what they have, if they can bottle this feeling and the way the team is working, I hope we can keep a lot of these pieces together. But whoever comes in, they're going to have to buy into this system, and this is going to be the team to beat, right?
Well, it's really amazing to hear. Like Wallman, they interviewed him, and one of the first things that he said, he's just like, I feel like I'm meant to be here. He's just like, it's
awesome.
Just so amazing to play meaningful games. The fans though, like they asked him like why, like I think even Knobloch was like, we knew he was gonna be a puck mover. We didn't realize how crazy he's gonna be defensively. This guy's blocking shots, hitting guys. We didn't expect that. We just expect solid puck movement, and he's just like over delivered.
That's right.
And Wallman's just like the first couple things out of his mouth was like, I don't want to let these fans down, right? So I'm doing everything that I can because like this entire city's behind us, and he just got so emotional about it, which is
awesome.
Just pretty.
Yeah, it's
pretty
a great
crazy.
experience. Like they kept on saying, Wallman hasn't been past the first round, and here he is playing in the finals. But this thought came to me as well, is like, why was it that Vancouver gave up on Podkolzin? What was it that they didn't see in this kid? Because he's playing his heart out, but maybe he has changed his game a little bit, and he's bought into the system in Edmonton, right?
So I remember when he first came over, he was cracking jokes and stuff, and they're like, "So what's it like to see McDavid, on the ice with him as opposed to off the ice, like against him?" And he's like, "Well." He's like, anytime that guy came over the boards, my coach told me I need to get off, so I'd get right off if he came on. But it's just amazing watching these guys, learning from these guys. Did you see though when he went in and took that puck and cut in, and right, Leon on the bench was like went up to him, gave him a hug, and he's like, dude, see, I told you can do this stuff. Right? So these guys are like,
oh man, what's that worth? Like having a guy like Leon,
guys, right?
Yeah, it's somebody like Leon coming and instilling confidence and giving a hug and encouraging you. I mean, like, come on.
Very, very early in Leon's career, I remember he made a bad play, and Taylor Hall went over to him, and he's like, dude, what the hell, man? He's like, you're a freaking phenomenal player. If you keep doing this, you're gonna You got to just keep moving. There's the next play coming up, right?
I miss Hall, man.
I do miss Hall. Too bad he's not a part of this team.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were talking about with like the buy-in and whatnot. Obviously, I have absolutely no insight or whatever. There's no insider information. But when you watch them in practice, even, and when you watch the videos when they're coming into the dressing room and stuff, everybody is a part of it. Like last game, Skinner came in, scored, and they were talking about it, and he was grinning ear to ear. Remember that? I think you said
Yeah.
And then they were just like, "Hey, the secret weapon, right? You just got to stay ready to go because we're going to need you at any time." And Skinner's like, even though he's played 2 games, he feels like he's contributed and he's loving it, right?
He has.
And
Yes.
Hyman's in the dressing room as soon as they come out. He's right there, and he's fist bumping everybody.
Yeah.
He's on with the team. It's just really it's great to see, especially since all the crap that we've been through. I still remember James Duffy from TSN talking about how nobody wants to play in Edmonton, right?
I remember.
And there's going to be this exodus, and Toronto fans, New York fans. There's an article over the weekend talking about how now the narrative is like McDavid wants to win so bad so that he'll give the city a cup and then he can leave. There's all this nonsense. Everyone just talks about how we're going to lose everyone and all our talent. So it's really nice to see behind the scenes how much they get along, right? And how much the city and stuff means to them.
And things have changed. I think that the Oilers Nation has to enjoy this to the fullest. I mean, I'm old enough that I enjoyed the first merry-go-round, when they were dominant and they were that team to beat. Loved it, enjoyed that time. But there are hills and valleys, and we're right now going towards the peak of the Oilers' success of this generation. I think the fans should enjoy it to the fullest. And
for sure. Don't take it for granted. Enjoy it. I mean, look, we have not won the division in almost 38 years.
That's
Can you
right.
believe that? Insane,
That's crazy.
right?
That's crazy. And
Absolutely insane.
if they win the cup this year and we're on our way towards that, I think it's going to be the first of at least a couple. And I'm hopeful that they can keep most of this team together. But I'm anxious to see what happens on July 1st. I want to see McD resign so we can just shut up all the Toronto media and the Toronto fans and all these other cities saying that he's going to bolt and leave and stuff like that.
It would be amazing if he re-signed early. I don't think it's going to happen early. Probably going to see something like September or something like Leon as well last year. Yeah. One thing, when I remember when we won the lottery back in 2015 and we fired McTavish. McTavish was like happiest guy in the world. He's like, yes, we're getting McDavid and it's good. And they fired him, brought in Chiarelli. I remember the initial interview and he was talking about winning 1 cup. Oh, we need to win. I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, is this guy going to blow his entire team up like he did in Boston to try and get a cup? Looking at
I remember that. I remember you said that.
Remember that? And I was telling you that. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, man, it's not about winning 1 cup.
Yeah.
You want to do what Stan Bowman's done. You want to do what Ken Holland's done. And I mean, I had no idea at the time, but we ended up getting Ken Holland, how many years later, 3-4 years later, cleaned up Chiarelli's mess. Yeah. And now we got Stan Bowman. And again, I was not really a Stan Bowman fan. I thought he inherited that team and I thought he kind of ran it into the ground. We've had numerous debates on that. And I mean, some of the stuff you've, come back with makes a lot of sense. The deals that he made, he never ever retained salary. Even
that's right.
He was the one that made the Duncan Keith deal with us as well, right?
That's right.
When he never retained salary on that deal.
No, right? We ended up paying.
Yeah.
And I love the Keith trade. I love him there because I think he did something for the defensive core. Actually, he was the first guy who kind of worked with Bouchard, and he mentored him quite a bit. Yeah. But I'm glad he's on the team. I don't agree that Kenny Holland's not here. I think he did some great things. His hands were tied, thanks to Chiarelli. Not a fan of Chiarelli and what he did to the team. He set this team back years.
Absolutely,
right?
He set this team back 10 years. But honestly, looking back and being objective with the benefit of hindsight as well, Chiarelli was on his way to building a pretty solid decor. Clefbaum, Sekera injuries set us back as well. But I mean, you can't turn Jordan Eberle into Sam Gagner, right?
That's right.
Or Ryan Spooner, and then Jesus,
brutal trades, man. Brutal trades.
Just brutal trades.
The Reinhardt trade. I mean, as much as he got a couple of really good ones, the Reinhardt trade. Just like
very first move out of the gates, fires the staff. All that, it's the deepest draft since 2005 or 2003 or whenever the Corey Perry draft, whatever, right?
2003.
Deepest draft since then. That same thing. Kevin Lowe did the exact same thing. He traded away picks, went into the later rounds. This guy went one step further, and he fired the goddamn scouting staff, and he traded away pretty much all of our picks, right?
Unbelievable. Because he had McDavid and he had like, oh, I got McDavid.
And he's like,
Oh no,
now we need to go in.
that year he took Yessi, right? Yessi Puljujärvi.
No, next year.
Oh, that was the following year. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. So he got McDavid. He's feeling good about himself. He gives out the 16th and the 31st or 32nd pick away for Reinhardt, which killed us.
All I know is Islanders picked Barzal and Beauvillier with those picks, right? I mean, can you imagine if we had Barzal and Beauvillier? I mean,
Crazy.
we probably wouldn't have picked Barzal.
It hurts, man, to think.
Hurts to think about that, but you know what? Water under the bridge. We're here now. We're in the finals.
Yeah.
You know, I think we gotta get over that stuff. I never will, but with respect to that, where we were to now where we are, again, we've had our debates about Stan Bowman, but full marks to him. He came in terrible situation with those offer sheets. He goes out, gets Paul Colson, makes the trade, gets rid of CC, gets Emberson, makes the team a little bit younger, a little bit faster, a little bit grittier with respect to Paul Colson, anyways. And then, I mean, that's what they were saying. They're like, look, we got to tread water, basically get to the deadline. We'll have some cap flexibility. And then he delivers Wallman, he delivers Frederick, and we're on our way, right? I mean, the Kapanen pickup too on waivers. Amazing. Like, who would have thought, right? So a lot of you know, good calls that have worked out really well so far.
Yeah.
We've got one for another year. Frederick's a UFA, but you know, hopefully, let's see, right? If we win the cup,
resign. I mean, he knows where he is, right?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. We still have Kane signed for 1 year. A lot of people are saying that we're going to buy out his contract or we're going to try.
I don't think so, man. I hope not. I mean, for the price we have him at 5.2, 5.3. He is a bargain for what he provides right now. He comes in, he scores, he hits. He's a power forward. He's like a Tom Wilson kind of player, and those are like unicorns in the league. You don't trade them away or buy them out. It would make no sense, right?
I wouldn't buy him out, but you might trade him. But you know what? I just thought of something right now. We didn't plan this, but you know, Zach Hyman's out. He could be our next LTIR guy, right?
Oh, I know on Zach Hyman. I don't know if everybody knows, but it is confirmed that it was his wrist. Dislocated wrist is what he had. It's not the shoulder. It was the wrist. So that's going to keep him out, obviously, for a significant amount of time to recoup that, because that's a shooting hand, right? So
right hand, bottom hand. Dislocated wrist with ligament damage too. So he's like, I think I'll be ready for camp, but who knows? But I mean, again, I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but I mean, having Kane on LTIR,
I know what you're thinking.
For the whole year, it helped out quite a bit, right?
Yeah, you think you're going to keep him out a whole year because of his wrist? Hey, they might. Why not come back for the playoffs?
I don't know. What if there's complications from surgery? Who knows? And then his ankle
it could happen. It could
happen. Who knows? It did happen, right?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting offseason as well, because there's obviously the Bouchard contract, obviously the McDavid contract's up for a new contract there as well, but what pieces leave, what pieces we bring in, especially if the Oilers are the champs. What players would want to come here at a discount? Like, let's not forget, like, Henrique came in for a discount. Obviously, Perry signed for a discount. Arvidsson maybe a discount.
Signed. I mean, all these guys signed. They came back. Skinner, right?
That's right. That's right. It's like, who wants to be a champion? Who wants the cup? You know, that's the trade-off.
Also, it sounds like we're going to have a bunch of youth coming in. There's a bunch of these UFA or college free agents and whatnot. We've got some guys coming up from overseas. They're saying we're going to get faster. We'll see. I mean, lots is going to happen before the offseason. Game 2 is tonight. We're going to obviously tune in. Before we sign off here, because you got to get going again, what are we thinking here? Predictions?
Ooh, man. I mean, I think Florida's going to come out shooting. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple of injuries in this game as well, because this is going to be a dog-eat-dog fight kind of a game, and I think the Oilers will come out on top. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to overtime again. Honestly, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game.
I think we're going to see like a 6-4 game today.
You think so, eh?
Just feel like we're going to see a 6-4 game today.
Nice.
But I'm hoping for like a 2 or a 3-1 win for us. But I don't know. I'm feeling. I don't know, these butterflies. I feel like we're going to be down,
man. It's the finals.
We're going to be down early on a penalty or two.
Yeah.
And then Skinner's going to be solid. We're going to kill those penalties off, but then it's going to go back and forth. But we're going to win like 6-4 or something, I think.
Why don't we do another prediction? Who's going to score for the Oil, and who's going to be if you are at the end of the game, who are going to be the stars for the Oilers this game? Or who are going to be the top performers?
Top performers for today? Man, good question. I feel like we're going to see a big game from Colson, I think. Confidence from last game.
Nice pick.
From the back end, I mean, obviously McDavid's going to be flying, right? I feel like, without said, he's going to be insane.
Yeah.
But like unsung-ish hero, like one of those stars up front, Colson, we're looking out for him. And defensively, I'm looking for Ekholm. I feel like he's getting more comfortable, and I think he's like first couple games he's just kind of acclimatizing.
Yeah.
Saw a few times he jumped in on the rush.
Yeah.
I think
He
he's going
scored
to
a
see more.
huge one, the tying game.
Yeah, he scored a goal. Oh, you know what? Before you go on your predictions, what do you think on that play? Do you think McDavid was looking for Kane, or do you think he actually was trying to get it to Ekholm?
No, I saw a different angle of that, and he was definitely looking for Ekholm because the way he elevated the
so?
pass, Kane would have not. It was well over his stick. He would have never gotten it. The way it was kind of like ice level shot of him going around, and he elevated that. I mean, you can't see from the top, but that pass was over everybody's. Yeah, it was sauced over everybody's stick over to Ekholm.
You know what's interesting? Bieksa, Strudwick, Rob Brown, all the hockey guys, like the hockey players, were like he was definitely going for Kane. Kelly
That's
Rudy,
because they can't believe this guy would make a play like that, right?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, they asked Ekholm. Ekholm's like, listen, man, that's my captain. He makes crazy passes. I'm going with that. Like he was looking for me, right?
That's right. No, he looked back. Like, I mean, even before the play develops, like McDavid's going towards and around everybody. He looked back. He knew that Ekholm's going to be pinching in, and Ekholm has scored how many goals from there? How many goals has he scored from that exact spot?
For sure. That bad angle just rips it.
Yeah, he just rips it top corner on the over the shoulder, right?
It's funny though, Strudwick, just the way he put it, he's like he was trying to get into Kane, but Kane was really busy driving 3 Florida Panthers into the goalie.
That's awesome. Yeah, good for him. That's what we need from the guy, right? And some assists are not recorded, but that was an assist I would give the guy, right?
So yeah, for sure. Like on the game winner too, the pick Nuge made. First off, full credit to Bouchard getting slew-footed, got right back up, made it to the pass time. These guys are so in sync. Like you see the slow motion, that the bank from Nuge to Bouchard. Bouchard's in the middle of the freaking rink.
Yeah,
comes over, perfect timing, grabs the puck, puts it back to him. Wasn't the greatest pass. He handles with his skate. Got a guy bearing in on him. The body work, man. Just the like the hesitation, the flip. Sees Perry, and then Perry's backhander, beautiful. Like those guys, man. Like these guys are so elite at that level, at that speed. That they know. Okay, this guy sticks here. That's why I'm going backhand, right? Because he's not going to get it with his stick.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Sorry, got too excited.
No, I stick with that thought. You mentioned the name, and that's going to be my pick for this game, having a massive game. I think Corey Perry is going to step up because he lives for this kind of game. This is going to be his kind of a game. It's going to be a dirty game. It's going to be a hit, kind of like score those really nasty goals from front of the goal. That's his wheelhouse. That's going to be Corey Perry right there for you for the offensive side.
Yeah.
And on the D, I'm going to go with Bush because of the confidence he displayed in the last game. I think, it's a love-hate relationship with the guy.
The swift-footed Bush.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a massive game. I think that he took a couple of slappers that were blocked, and he's going to learn from that. That's why he went try to take it in like Connor McDavid and go through 3 guys. But I think he's gonna have a good game this game.
That's funny. My friend's in Edmonton. He caught game 1 with work. He took his son to game 2, and I can't remember if he asked me if I wanted anything. I didn't. Or I might have actually volunteered. I'm like, hey, if you find a Bouchard jersey, that's what I want. He got himself a Hyman jersey, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Nice.
I wanted a Bouchard one. But you before we sign off, because I do really got to run. We're talking about Corey Perry. Ekblad. He was doing some nonsense, and then Perry went after him, and kind of trailed, and then Perry trash talked him too, because he's like started going like this.
Yeah. No, I 100% think that they talked about last year and who were the bullies, with the exception of Marchand, because he's going to be the bully in this series now. But they know who was there last year that really took it to them.
Made their life tough
in the middle of it. Go after the guys who are really like they've almost neutralized Chucky. He's not doing much. I don't see him very much.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really think he did much last year as well. He scored 1 goal, but I didn't really think he was.
Yeah, only had 3
instrumental.
points.
I never really thought, but he is playing on one leg. Kudos to him for being a gamer. But screw him, whatever. Blame, right?
Exactly. And for next pod, I have a story to tell you about Nuge. He used to be my neighbor, so I'll tell you a story about that next podcast, and maybe I'll go with him for the next game. But that's it, and that's all for now for this pod.
Sounds good, bud. Okay, we'll be obviously chatting throughout the game. I got to run. We'll get this thing up as soon as possible. We'll talk soon. Always great chat with you.
Sounds good, brother. Yeah, you too.
All right, bud. Let's go, Oil.
Let's go, Oil. Take care, buddy.